happy to introduce my friend Star. We danced together for a while in Baltimore. So, what's your name? Who are you? How long did you dance for?
So, my name is Star, and I danced. I started when I was 18, and I stopped when I was 27 or 28. So, like 9 or 10 years, which is a long time.
Yeah, I went 12, so I feel you on that. And why did you stop?
Well, I met my now boyfriend, and it was something after I'd done it for so long, like it sucked the soul and the life out of me, and I needed a complete lifestyle change, and the only way that was going to happen was just completely separate myself 100% from dancing.
Yeah. So as somebody that worked for such a long time in the field, what would you say the two big, give me two dangers and disadvantages that strippers have to deal with at the job?
So I would say the accessibility to the drugs and the alcohol, because it's everywhere. It's so easy to find. I mean, it is the easiest thing in the world to find there. And then just doing VIP rooms with people because you don't know them, and the chances are they are under the influence of some substance, and you're pretty much locked in a room. Sometimes bouncers come by and check, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And even if something happens and you're screaming at the top of your lungs, the music is way too loud for anybody to even hear anything.
Yeah.
So for me, those were the two dangers and really scary things that I dealt with for almost 10 years of my life.
Yeah. I mean, those VIP rooms, I've had stuff happen in there that I was seriously shook. And I actually had customers that scared the bejesus out of me, and they would come back and I would have to factor in, do I really want that money bad enough to do more champagne rooms with this guy? Because they can be so intimidating and really forceful.
They absolutely are. Even in a regular lap dance, it was the same. And in the more private rooms, for me at least, the more aggressive they were, because they weren't being so closely watched, and there wasn't somebody 2 feet from them. So they, I can get away with anything because we're locked in this room, and I paid all this money that I can do whatever I want. Yeah. And that's not, for me at least, that was never the case. It was to sell a fantasy and not myself.
Yeah. And that was so confusing to men, because they really thought hey, some men were these strippers, they'll do anything for money, and they would push you for it. Push to do these things. And sometimes the money was a lot, thousands of dollars. And other times it was insulting, but still, we're strippers, we're not there to do these things.
It is, and I think a lot of the times that we're in that job and in the industry, you're not seen as a human being with a life and a family and feelings and boundaries and, limits that you can and won't do. You are an object, and even the women that would come in, that they would see you the same way. It wasn't just the men that saw you as an object and this piece of meat or whatever. The women did as well.
I talked about that in my last video. For me, women were more aggressive on average than men to do lap dances and champagne rooms with.
Because they thought that women, you automatically think, this is a girl, I'm a girl, I can get away with so much more.
Yes.
And the rules always apply, at least for me, to everyone. And most of the time, it was a fight to get, a guy or a girl or a couple to follow my rules and my limits. I'm well, I've walked out of VIP rooms because I'm this is not worth, how much ever money.
Especially you said, they're under the influence a lot of times of drugs and alcohol. And, normally a no would mean no, but that no doesn't sometimes get through the chemical haze that they're under.
And they think that it's it's being playful.
No.
I'm not being playful. You can't do what I say you can't do. So
All right, so let me ask you, what's one of the like horror stories that stuck out from your time as a dancer?
Okay, so I was doing a champagne room, and obviously you're in this vulnerable situation, and I was not sober, which kind of made everything a little worse. Like my rules still applied, and it was my rules, but
all right, where were we?
My horror story.
Oh yeah. So sorry guys, we got disconnected really quick. My camera stopped working. We had to switch from Messenger over to Skype, but we're back. So what's going on with this horror story? Tell me, girl.
Okay, so we're in the champagne room. Because there were honestly so many horror stories.
Oh.
But there was a guy that, and I did multiple rooms with him. Just he spent a lot of money, but every time he would try to stick fingers places.
Yep.
And undress himself and undress me. Maybe one time. And so I would always have to take a week off of work afterwards because I mentally, physically, and emotionally needed to really recover and not be in that environment where I was susceptible to that, no less than 24 hours than, the craziness that already happened.
Yeah, man. But it was worth it though.
It was, I had a lot of fun, and I met a lot of really great people, and I learned so much, about life and myself and everything in general. But I'm happy to now have been settled down, and my boyfriend's got kids, so we do things together, and just to be in a more productive and loving environment.
Yes.
For myself, loving myself more, and everybody else as well.
Yeah. I feel in one part I feel lucky because we got to live a lifestyle like that most people don't get to experience, that fast track rock star party lifestyle out there on the edge. I mean, granted, I did it for way too long, 12 years. No, I shouldn't have. But and I did learn a lot, like you said. We probably have so many experiences from that, but I'm glad to be out of it, like you are.
There were people that I would have never met, otherwise, baseball players and football players and musicians and, chefs and things people like that were really humbling and really great to me. I probably would never have met had I not worked where I did, but I also wish I would have met them in a different light, in a different way.
Yeah.
So that the experience probably could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
Than getting wasted with somebody and you're where am I? What am I doing? Who are you? And how did I get here? So you put yourself in dangerous situations.
Yes. That was one of the things I said is it's not uncommon for women at the strip clubs to make poor decisions on who they leave the clubs with because they're lonely, tired, drunk, high, and that can put you in some very dangerous situations. I remember one time I was working at the Goddess. I ended up at one of the airport hotels, and the guy's like, I'll pay you $800 because that's all he had to just come and hang out with me. And I had to go to work in a couple hours. We were doing coke. I had to go to work. I had to get my brother to come pick me up. He would not let me leave. My brother had to come upstairs. I had to call my brother, tell him to come upstairs. He would not let me leave the room. He was scaring the bejesus out of me. I'm happy that my brother was there to pick me up.
And that's so scary to think about how many times I willingly, at least myself, and I'm sure everybody else has done it to a certain extent. How many times I've put myself in those really sketchy and potentially really dangerous situations where I might not be here talking to you.
Yes.
I did that because you're under the influence and you lose all your inhibitions and you're it'll be okay. I'll be fine. He's not a murderer or serial killer, but you don't know.
No.
You don't know anything about these people and what they're capable of.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. All right. I have to wrap this up. I gotta hang on one second. I get so nervous I trip over my words. But all right, so thank you so much for your time. I am so happy to have gotten you on to talk about this in my video. Hold on. I trip over my words.
That's okay.
Oh, you should see me when I record my videos. It takes me sometimes like an hour to do like 2 minutes because I'm not good at it yet. All right, Star. Thank you so much for your time and your input. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this for me, and I really think that people will really enjoy everything that you had to say. You really brought a really interesting angle to these topics.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And another thing I just want to say really quickly about you, Star, is you were a stripper for 18 years, but right now you're putting yourself through nursing school and you are a preschool teacher. So I'm so proud that you did that for yourself, that you got out of the lifestyle and you're really just conquering life. So proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. Maybe we'll get you on the channel again soon sometime. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later.
Absolutely. Bye.
All right. Let me hear.